Okay, so the next part that we're going to look at here is creating this tire, the tire that goes around the wheel on the Automoblock set. Some of the dimensions are not exact, but the basic idea applies. First thing we need to do is create part of this sketch, and it will look like this, and these are the dimensions you want to use. So take a moment to do that and then come back. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to extrude this. We're going to do a slightly different extrude than we've done before. If you look over here in the extrude, there are different directions that you can go, including what's called a midplane, which will go both directions as it extrudes. As you can see, it's coming both forward and backwards on that. We're going to make this an inch sketch is just fine, and then click OK. Now, we're going to share this sketch so that we can use it again. We've done this before. But one of the things as we share the sketch, it can be really difficult to see what's going on there. So on the extrusion, I'm going to right click and I'm going to come down and we're going to suppress that feature. When we suppress that feature, then we don't see it. It doesn't get in the way of the rest of our drawing, which is good. So now we're going to create a sketch on this plane. So I just clicked one of those circles to get this. Now I'm going to use a few different commands. The line command, starting from the center here, going straight up. Now when I do that, I'm going to use that as a reference point for two other lines on either side of it. Like that. Now these lines don't have a particular distance. It only matters that they come from the center and go past the outer edge. Now I want to keep this line, but I don't want to use it. So I'm going to go back and make this a construction line. There, that's better. Now that it's a construction line, it won't be involved in any of the rest of the drawing, but it is a good reference. Now I'm going to use the dimension command to get these lines the correct distance from that. Now the distance here is going to be measured in degrees. You can notice it's in degrees there. And from our picture, what we saw was we wanted these to be 4 degrees apart, these two lines. So that means from that center, they are 2 degrees from that center. They're half that distance. So that's what I'm going to put in here too. And then I'm also going to do it on the other side. Now that we've got that, we need one more circle in here. Do a concentric circle, and it's going to start from the middle like the others did, and it's going to just go up a ways. Then I'm going to dimension it from the other circle, the inside circle here, and that's 0.03. And so we're just making a very little spot here. But we don't need all of this. As a matter of fact, we only need a very tiny bit, so we're going to use the trim command here to get rid of a lot of that. Trim has little scissors on it. And anything that we click, it's going to cut around to the next line. So we're going to get rid of a bunch of different bits and pieces here. It's all right that they turn green. Don't worry about that. It has all the dimensions that we need. And it's just this little bit that we needed. And we want to make that a circular pattern. So looking back, we're going to see we've trimmed it down to 1 rib, and we're going to make a bunch of those. Those are 15 of those ribs total here, and we want them to go all the way around. So we're going to do that. So on here, we're going to use the circular pattern, choose our geometry. I'm sorry, you know what? Actually, we want to extrude that first. So let's finish sketch. we know where that is. We're going to extrude this little bit right there, and it's also going to be a mid-plane extrusion, but this one's only going to go 0.75. Now let's bring back the other one. So we're going to go back over to extrusion that we have suppressed, right click it, and we're going to unsuppress, and then we can see the rib there that's coming around, and we're going to use our circular pattern to make that. Now the feature that we want, we can actually come over here and click extrusion 2 as our selection, and then when our rotation axis, we just need any one of those rings that we can get there, and we want 15 of those, and click OK, and we have our 15 ribs. Now this all looks good. The one thing else that we're going to do just to make it look a little bit better here is sketch 1, right click that, and come down to visibility and click the visibility. That makes it sort of invisible, and now we're left with our ribbed tire there, and that's what we're looking for. So you can save this now, and we'll call that tire. So that's the Automoblocks tire that we are saving.